something I saw you post about the other week was bigorexia.
Yeah.
And that word just instantly caught my eye. What is bigorexia?
Bigorexia is it's been around for a long time, but it's only just been coined as bigorexia, previously called muscle dysmorphia. And as I'm sure you can figure out from the name, it's a bit like anorexia, but inverted. It's a type of eating disorder, body dysmorphia, where people want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's very high prevalence in gym culture. And it's one of those things, a bit like we're talking of pay pig, because there's also people that are just engaging in adult choices. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a man going to the gym, of course. I support that. I try to go as much as possible, but there has to be a point when that relationship becomes unhealthy, where people are obsessed, like they're giving up. A lot of people I've read their sort of testimony on having bigorexia. They're giving up on social events. They're not, responding to text messages or phones. They're missing birthdays. They're just obsessed with going to the gym day after day after day. It dominates their life. And that's when it becomes a problem. So that's when it stops being like a healthy indulgence in healthy living, which I support, and starts becoming like an obsession that has serious like impacts on a person's life. So yeah, bigorexia, mostly men, but certainly not entirely men. And it's just like a very unhealthy relationship with exercise and specifically getting bigger. And I know, and I've spoken about it recently in terms of like framing it alongside the perspectives you're giving from Hollywood. Like you'll see, like classically, Hugh Jackman is insane. His body is ridiculous in like Wolverine. Not in originally. If you look at the original X-Men from like 2001, I think, he's just like a big guy. Not like ridiculously muscly. He was just like a big lad.
Yeah.
And now you look at him and you can see every single part of every single muscle when he takes the top off. And if you actually look into how they do that, it's like a 3-month fitness regime, which is okay, that's difficult. But the really difficult bit is that he has to dehydrate his body for 3 days before. So when he knows he can do a topless scene, he basically limits his water intake for the first 2 days and then doesn't have any water on the third day, to the point where there's no like water under his skin, and his skin sits on the muscle, and that's how he looks like that. So no amount of going to the gym is ever going to get you looking like Wolverine unless you dehydrate yourself to a dangerous degree. So we're presenting images that are just beyond what is actually attainable for young men and boys. And I think that's dangerous. I mean, Henry Cable spoke about it at the same time, that doesn't drink water for 3 days before doing a topless scene. And he said he could like smell water at the end of it. He was so dehydrated, he could smell water. And like, I just don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's healthy at all. Like, I want to support presenting like body types that men want to achieve, encouraging them to achieve them, but there has to be a point where it's just not possible. And we've gone beyond that. And that's where bigorexia begins.
You present these unrealistic standards, and that leads to lives that aren't real pursuing them. You have to sacrifice everything that's normal, like seeing friends, like going to the pub and having a drink, like seeing your family, to just be in the gym 24/7. And I don't know if this is my confirmation bias, just because we're speaking about bigorexia and I want to be in the loop with it, but I feel like I've really noticed a shift the last few years of these gym guys where it no longer becomes a means to an end of going out. Like, do you know what? No, it's not confirmation bias, because I've seen the history unfold of gym culture. You used to have people, do you know who Ziz is?
Nope.
Ziz was this guy, Australian bodybuilder, on Instagram. This was the dawn of Instagram. And he had his top off. He'd always flex like this. That was his iconic. That's going to get clipped and put as a Nazi salute. I'm going to get called far right. And his whole thing was saying, I'm a sick cunt, I'm better than you, being really cocky, narcissistic, horrible. But the gym was always a means to an end, to chasing this status and getting women and banging hot chicks and whatever. But it was at least a means to an end. And he wasn't just in the gym, he was out partying. That was kind of the flex, was this lifestyle. Whereas now it's transferred to people forgetting why they actually started, and it's being used as a crutch to escape from reality, essentially, from what I've seen. So you've just got people slaving away in the gym for no particular goal. They're not showing off their gains to everyone because they're wearing baggy clothes. My mum actually criticized me for this. She's like, you go to the gym, you work hard, but you just wear baggy hoodies all the time. Like, who's going to know? So I guess I fall into it too. But yeah, there's a fine line, like, between doing something for results and enjoying it, and it betters you as a person, and just using it as a crutch.
Yeah, it's a fine line for everything. I don't want to present anything in absolute. So I don't want to say going to the gym is bad, because that's obviously not right.
Yep.
But there is a line where going to the gym obsessively can become part of an unhealthy set of behaviors, and we need to talk about where is that line. And it's like gambling, which is another really important point to talk about. But I've been every now and again I place a bet on my football club. It's not a huge amount. It's like $5, and that's it. That's fine. But then people like waste their entire lives and destroy their marriage and relationships and end their lives as a result of gambling addiction. That's obviously way beyond that line. So there's a line everywhere, everything in moderation. So where is that line? And I mean, it's not for you or I to decide, but hopefully part of a conversation where we can all work it out for ourselves. It's different for every single person.
Well, I wonder how much of that line being crossed with the gym is because that's the only place men feel like they can express masculinity, is gym, UFC maybe, and that's about it.
Yeah, the funny thing is about the hyper masculine gym goers, when they're doing like a muscle up, it's never women watching them, it's only the guys, including me. I'm like, fucking hell, that's impressive. And I don't bet, I'm doing it for women. I don't think women want that level of gym bro. And like, you are impressing people, but they're normally the dudes, and it is impressive. I mean, I'm very impressed when I see muscle ups, because I'm mostly jealous. So yeah, it's like there's a point where I think it stops being attracted to women in the way people expect it to be, most women, and it's more about the guys. And I think the same for a lot of women, when they become obsessed with their appearance and what they're wearing, and not wearing the same clothes at the same time in 2 weeks, or like the amount of makeup and hair extensions. And I think a lot of guys don't like that. They don't like that extreme level of femininity. I don't think is necessarily performed for men. It's often performed for other women. And I just want to go. I want to leave on time. I don't care how. I want you to try on 5 different dresses and work. I just want to go. So I think most men are like that as well. They're just sat there like, oh my god. It's like the chair they have outside changing rooms in women's clothes stores, and it's just like always a man sat in it, like, oh. And yeah, we've gone way off topic, but
I think the important thing is, I believe at least, that the gym influx of newcomers that I see all the time, like 15-year-olds starting up gym accounts, and then that becomes their identity. Some of them I've seen, and I just want to quantify this. I want to qualify this by saying, like, I've been a bit of a gym bro for a few years, and I've been very much like absorbed in the industry, probably to the point when it was unhealthy at some points. And like, I've seen a lot of people with my own eyes go through the cycle of 15-year-old wants to express their masculinity in some way. Maybe that's not the conscious reason that they'll articulate, but it's along those lines. They go to the gym, they get lost in it, it's an escape. They start taking steroids because they're now competing with other guys, and it's almost like peacock signaling for the female peacock, but you've forgotten about why you're actually doing the signaling. So you're just trying to outcompete all these guys for no reason, and it's so unhealthy. And then they develop this sort of cynical outlook on life, and they wonder why no girls are choosing them. And it's not that no girls are choosing them, it's that they're not in any situations where a girl could choose them, when she actually probably would, because she'd look at their body and say, he's a guy that's hardworking, he's industrious, he's consistent with what he does. And then I wonder how many gym cells there are.
Gym cells?
There must be.
Gym cells. Just coin that. That's brilliant. Gym cell.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That's a question for William, I'm afraid.
But with this expression of masculinity, I want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
With gambling addiction, do you think that's the same thing, that's just what men have retreated to rather than doing other things? Or like, it's something I'm trying to understand, because I've seen the levels rise massively amongst young men with gambling addiction as well. It like blows my mind, and I don't have an answer, so I'm asking the expert.